Hello everybody, and welcome to a brand new tutorial on how to do this month's challenge mode. This is probably the hardest challenge mode, and it was quite a lot of fun to theorycraft a fleet that will actually beat this ship. Pretty much what makes Helena so difficult this time around is because of her skill, threat detection. Pretty much what this skill does is every single time that threat detection activates, it will calculate which type of damage, as in cannon damage, or torpedo damage, or airstrike damage, and then make it so that it takes a significant 80% less damage from that type. And the three types are right here. It allows her to survive very well and take almost no damage from your highest damaging source. So the key to defeating Helena is to make sure that you are using, whenever you see threat detection pop up, that the only thing that is hitting it is cannons. We'll go more into specifics later, and I'll also show examples of how to actually fight this boss. But for now, let's go into the actual fleet. Now, one thing about this ship is I highly recommend not using battleships. Battleships just do not have enough damage, and also they do not have... they're more oriented towards heavily armored units, and she is a lightly armored unit. Now, let's look at the Vanguard first, and then the main fleet. So we have Sirius here. Sirius is here just to increase aviation of all light aircraft carriers and normal aircraft carriers. She is extremely good for a supporting role, which is the whole reason why she is here. You don't really need to do anything special with her equipment. She's literally just here for the for her ability, her skill here. I would highly recommend putting something on that will give her more hit points and just more survivability, just so that she doesn't sink near the end of the mission. Next, we have Aurora here. Aurora, once again, is only here for this ability right here. While she is afloat, decreases the evasion rate of all enemy destroyers and light cruisers by 20%. This is gonna let your aircraft carriers do a lot more damage and just overall make this fight much easier. You don't really need to have her maxed out or anything. It's just this one skill that's really good. And the rest of her equipment doesn't really matter. I haven't even upgraded this, and it's only here for a little bit of speed. Then we have Kazukumo, who is probably the best aircraft carrier booster in the entire game, because he just straight up gives more damage. Absolutely insane. You don't really have to do anything too special with her equipment. I just use her all the time, so she has really good equipment on, and I didn't want to change it. Now for the important bit, which is the main fleet. The main fleet consists of Shina. I just call her Shina. And we're facing Helena. Helena is a lightly armored ship, so we want aircraft carrier. Well, we want planes that will give a big boost to light armor. The AD-1 Sky Raider is really good. The prototype Su-2 is also really good because it's just decent at everything. If you have a third Tenri, this one, then I highly recommend using your third one. But if not, what else can we use? You can also just use an experimental XSB 3C1 if you really don't have any prototype Su-2s, but I do recommend using the prototype Su-2. And then, of course, we're using the Resi. which is just absolutely amazing. And if you don't have the Resi, then I highly recommend using a Kai instead. It's the same exact thing, it just does a little bit more damage and has one less torpedo. So the next ship is going to be our main damage dealer, which is Haku here. You want to put on a Rasi, and then a Tenri, and then another Tenri. If you don't have two Tenris, then you can just go ahead and use, once again, Prototype Su2s. Prototype Su2s are really good. Now, the reason why we're using Haku is because she takes benefit from Shinu's ability. I think it's this one. No, is it this one? Yes. So, increases the aviation accuracy by 15% for all Sakura Empire CBs, and she is a Sakura Empire CB, so she gets that little bit of extra damage and accuracy, and you're gonna want a lot of accuracy to begin with. Now, last but not least, we have Implacable, who is going to be our slower. She has an ability, I don't remember which one it is, but whenever she uses her strike, then here we go. It's going to decrease enemy speed. Very, very good ship. Now, I highly recommend using the HVAR mounted Hellcats. Don't remember what event this came from, but they are amazing for lightly armored units. Right here, yes. They have 140 damage multiplier for light armor. Absolutely insane. If you don't have any of these Hellcats, you can use the prototype BF 109Gs, which are also really good. Well, not really good, but they're pretty good for light armor as well. Better than pretty much the rest of them, especially like a Hellcat or whatever. I don't know, is Seahorn good? No. And her job is just going to be to slow, although she is an ultra rare aircraft carrier, so she also does do a lot of damage, especially with all these buffs. Now I'm going to show you the gameplay loop. It's not too complicated. I'm not going to do the whole mission just because it is a long one, but I will show most of it, or at least enough that you'll get the idea. So the first 20 seconds are going to be very slow. So there's the threat detected. Once threat detected happens, and you see that little pop-up for her skill, it will calculate everything that attacks it within the next 6 seconds. So it's very important to not do anything. Now, it said cannon protection. That means that it is now taking 40% less damage from cannons. So now once you see that cannon protection come up, spam all of your torpedoes and all of your aircraft carrier. And that's the loop. That's it. And there's cannon protection. Threat detection, don't do anything. Cannon protection. Now wait until all of your airstrikes are all loaded, and then spam. Threat detection. Cannon protection. And you have a 10-second window, so you don't have to shoot it off immediately. Threat detection. Cannon protection. Now, we're probably going to have to skip this one because our airstrikes aren't catching up. Threat detection. Cannon protection. Yeah, you get the gist of it. I'm out damaging the timer, so that's about it. It might take. I'm doing really bad with dodging attacks because I'm not good at speaking, but all you really have to do is make sure that you're out damaging the clock, and you'll do fine. It doesn't cost anything and to run this, so it might take you a couple tries. I know it definitely took me more than one try. And that's it. That's all you really have to do. It isn't a super difficult mission, but it is it is the most challenging one so far. If you have to do a couple of takes, if you have to try a couple of times, then don't worry about it. It took me like 2 or 3 tries to actually do it, mainly because Sirius just kept dying. Because she's not really the tankiest, and also my gear is not optimal for this. But even without optimal gear, I still managed to beat it with a little over a minute left. And I am sure that you will be able to do it as well. I hope that this helped at least one of you, and good luck!